you show us a bit of magic?
Yeah. Gives you wallet, I'll make you cash this. No. So.
Whoa, you're not going to stand up and just spin your dick around, are you? Well, that doesn't count.
You never know. Grab me wand. So I'll do it with you then, Adam. So we've got 2 cards here.
Right, okay.
King of Hearts, 9 of Clubs.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can hold your hand out flat for us, right, we'll put the king on there like that. Look, to do it round Mike here. So we get the 9, we take the 9 out, put it on top. So we get the magic wallet then. So I used to sell this in a shop when I had a shop. You say, it was bestseller. So then you say, look, come on, bang, it's gone. So give us the 9 back. We take it back, look, it's like bed up and it's disappeared. Oh, no, and it's always jumped right back and it's on back at king now.
Oh, my. That's actually blown my mind a little bit.
There you go. Simple as that.
You can tell me how you do that after the
10 quid
podcast?
I used to sell them for.
Yeah.
Bangers. Oh, all day long.
That's worth more than 10 quid.
Yeah. So you're in pub with your mates, that's it. You've got a round there, haven't you?
Mate, where did all this start? Where did magic start?
So obviously, like growing up, like every little kid, you know, you get your magic sets for Christmas, and you know your granddad's making his thumb disappear and giving it all this with coins. I just got into it, and then growing up and watching like sort of David Blaine. And as I got older, I thought, right. So I went into a shop in Wakefield and met the 2 guys there. And I just started going in every week, and it cost me an absolute fortune. I'm talking like tens of thousands of pounds in end, because it can be really expensive if you want to get
Tens of thousands of pounds.
I'm telling you,
like buying magic tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So it won't, you know, you can go and you can buy the little sets that, you know, are going to give you a bit of fun and a bit of fun with your family and your mates. But if you really want to get into it and you're serious, it takes so much dedication and time, and you've got to learn the tricks, DVDs, books. You're talking books that can be 200 quid sometimes just to read a little bit of literature. But what I used to say to people is obviously you're not buying a trick, you're getting a secret. That's what you're buying. So sometimes you can buy a magic trick and you open it up and you think, oh my God, is that it?
Yeah.
But before opening that, you didn't know what to do. So you're not buying a product, you're buying a secret. And it's just fun. It's just fun. I love just to see people's faces, and it's all about the patter and how you put it together. And there's some magicians out there that, you know, are really, really good at it and great, and there's some out there that, you know, they can do the trick, but they've just not got that bit of a pizzazz.
The showmanship.
And that's what it's about. And I know when I first started, I started to do kids shows and stuff like that, birthday parties, and it were great, but I didn't get the self-satisfaction out of it because it's a different audience than to adults. So I would prefer to go along to a wedding or a barbecue. People have had a bit of pop inside them. You always get that Jack the lad that knows what he's doing, you know, I've seen that before. So then I'd pick on him and make sure I make him look a complete plonker. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the difference between the adults and the kids is the kids would just go, wow, yeah, and run off. And the adults are just sat there all night. Oh, how did he do that? Oh, mate, you're great. And then me being a chubby lad, all right, being a bit of a chunky lad, used to go out with mates, you know, we'd be out clubbing out town and they're all buffed up and I'm there with man boobs thinking, right, what can I do? Getting no attention whatsoever. So I'm thinking, right, take my cards out, do a few coin tricks. By 11 o'clock, I've got all birds around me thinking that I'm Mr. Wizard. They're all sat there scratching their heads thinking they've wasted 5 days in gym because they're all saying that best thing since sliced bread. So yeah, it's good fun.
So that's the trick to it then. For those lads out there that can't quite pull on a night out.
Get yourself a deck of cards, crack on. Yeah.
Well, how old are you then when you first started? Because you must have been younger then, like obviously.
So obviously, like since I was a kid, but I got into it like proper serious and thought, right, I can make some of this. Around about 22, right. 23, and I did a few online courses, and then I went and did some courses where, I remember once I stayed in an hotel for 3 nights, and this bloke was teaching us a full routine to do at a wedding. So it's what he'd done for years, and he'd done a good business out of it. So then he was passing that knowledge on. And then, like I say, the guys in the magic shop, they were just amazing, and you go in there, so helpful. And then I decided to set up a little magic shop myself in Barnsley, and they were like, yeah, we'll help you out, give me some stock and sale a return. And
that's pretty cool.
We're getting like a 2-for-1 here, because I think we're going to be talking to a YouTube entertainer, and we're actually talking to that and a magician at the same time. That's right, which I did not realise.
Yeah, so, that's why. I mean, the magician thing. I'm so interested. We could
just talk about that for the whole podcast if it was me.
Well, I've got a question. I thought it were like more. I thought it were like who you know, or the sort of like the magic circle as it used to be called. Is it a thing? So you have to be sort of like invited in. Is it like a secret club or?
Yeah. So you've got to be invited in. You've got to be sort of sponsored by people to get in there, and you've got to be able to perform at a certain level. And then obviously it is all hush on how things are done, this that and other. And it's like I think the most frustrating thing about the magic world is over the years there's like a lot of Chinese rip-offs on tricks and stuff, and then now with YouTube and stuff like that, you can go and see how these tricks are done, and it's like it's sort of taking the edge off. But it's all about, for me, it's about that showmanship. And so although when I'm watching other magicians, I probably know how it's done, it's how they've put it together for me and how they come across, and I still get that wow factor today. So like if somebody else performed a trick I'd done and they put it together a lot better, I'd be like, wow, that was spot on. Because that's what it's about, isn't it? You want to be entertained. That's what it is. It's a level of entertainment. So you want that entertainment from people, and you know it can, and it's for all ages. Don't matter how old you are with magic. There's always a trick that's going to amaze somebody at whatever age. So, and you're like a big kid here. Look at him. He's doing like a Cheshire cat here.
Mate, you're going to sell me that trick later on.
I love it though. Like, I mean, obviously, I've just had a kid and I've always watched magic and absolutely loved it. But now I'm like, I'd love to be able to just learn a bit of magic. And when obviously I heard the podcast on Jack Mate and I spoke to Danny recently about it, I want to learn a couple of tricks, you know, for when baby gets older.
So a quick story for you is, when I first started out, like sort of turning semi-professional with it, and thought, right, I'm going to give this a go, I got a fire wallet. So obviously it's what it is. So you open your wallet up and big bursts of flames drop out.
I've seen those actually,
Yeah, so I'm like, right, so I'm learning this. And then Mrs. comes into the kitchen. I says, here, love, watch this, went like that. And I bought a cheap version of it. So as I've gone like that, the actual gimmicks flew out, full of lighter fluid, all over the floor, burnt out carpet. It didn't go down well.
You nearly burnt your house down.
Yeah, and I learned from that moment then, let's just go and get the proper original gimmick and not buy these knockoffs, because they're the ones that's going to kill you.
That's terrifying.
Don't order it from wish.com.
That's it.
Are you ever going to look at, we will get into your channel, but would you ever look at bringing magic into the channel as part of the I guess the performance of what you do on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that me guys have talked about and said about bringing the magic in, but it's just one of those things at the moment with the channel. It's just running as it is, and I'm just a big fat jolly fella anyway. You know, I'll have a laugh with anyone, and you know, getting the magic out. It's something that we'll probably do in future, and you know, when I get my podcast going and beat you on Spotify.
I don't think it'll take much. It won't take much.
Yeah, the level's pretty low. Did you see the first episode is called "The Time Beard Shit His Pants"? We want to set the tone straight off the bat.
We set it well and truly with that one,
Yeah, that's it.
Last question: how far did you take the magic? You know, like with shows, like how far did you take it, or did you expect to take it? What was the?
So obviously, I started off and I would did a few weddings, and I did a funeral once.
Funeral?
Oh yeah. So, and that's what I thought. I'm thinking, right, I mean, what am I going to do here?
You just saw the box in half, the coffin.
Well, that's what I thought. You know, I didn't know if they wanted me to do some kind of resurrection spell or something like that. I don't know. But, you know, to be honest, it went a lot better than I thought it was. And it basically, the person that had passed away wanted it to be a jolly occasion, wanted it to be people being entertained, being fun. So that, but it was a lot of pressure on me, because I'm thinking, my God.
I was thinking, like imagine we turn up to that thinking, fucking hell, what, pardon my French, but like you'd be thinking, do you make jokes? Do you at a funeral?
Well, I thought to myself, I've got to try and make these people laugh. Shall I bring Mankini out? What shall I do?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I want it on record that if whatever happens, I snuff it, I want Danny there at the wake performing some magic tricks.
That's a guarantee that I'll be at the funeral. If I see some more tricks like that, I'll definitely be there.
And we will do the sewing in half. You know, it's not going to be bothered if it goes wrong.
That's it. Done at that point.